26th of July 2012. I'm Michael Oyer.
And I'm Edith Kimani. We'd also like to welcome everyone who's joining us on our digital platform www.ktnkenya.tv/live.
Yes, indeed. But in the headlines. Top security chiefs meet over Mombasa Republican Council ruling.
Raila finally breaks his silence on Miguna book.
Mutula Kilonzo now unveils the ideal skirt for schoolgirls.
And ICC moves to tighten case against the Ocampo 4.
Welcome. A High Court ruling has for a second time in less than a month caused sharp divisions in government.
In the latest ruling by the High Court asking the government to lift the ban on the Mombasa Republican Council, Prime Minister Raila Odinga says the government will respect the ruling as long as MRC plays with the court's advice.
Well, however, Acting Minister for Internal Security Yusuf Haji has already instructed the Attorney General to appeal the decision, saying the ruling has far-reaching implications on national security. Patrick Amimo has the details.
Government top security officials held a closed-door emergency meeting at Harambee House office in Nairobi to discuss security implications posed by a Mombasa High Court ruling that lifted a ban on a group demanding an independent state around the coastal city of Mombasa. After a 5-hour discussion, the Ministry of Internal Security said it will appeal the ruling.
Well, the question of there not being a tangible evidence is debatable. That will be the work of the Attorney General when he goes to court. But I think the implication is even more serious on the national security, because as you have seen, over 32 other groups have been prescribed. And if they take cue from this judgment, they are likely also to go to court.
But on the opposite office of Harambee Avenue, the Prime Minister says the government will respect the High Court ruling.
So we will respect the ruling of the courts. And we also hope that the MRC will also abide by the provisions of that ruling.
The security chief said the court observed its ruling was not a license to lawlessness and disorder. Haji has asked Kenyans not to panic.
To warn all criminal groups not to consider this ruling as a license to engage in criminal activities. They will face the full force of the law.
The Minister for Industrialization was concerned that some people at coast have misinterpreted the court ruling and are now spreading falsehoods.
The judges never declared coast as an independent state.
Top security officials believe 32 groups like Mungiki, Chingororo and Sabot Land Defense Force that were banned together with the MRC in 2010 for engaging in criminal activities might also seek recognition.
I don't think this ruling has the potential of, opening a floodgate to all illegal groupings to seek recognition.
Police say they have 13 cases pending in court on MRC members who are calling for the cessation of Coast Province through chanting the slogan Pwani Si Kenya.
The judges did advise that such a slogan would constitute, hate speech. It's contained in the ruling. And therefore, what I'm appealing to the coast people, we need to understand the contents of the ruling.
The High Court ruling has sent mixed signals both to the MRC and the government. But what is clear is that should MRC engage in any criminal activities, then it should be ready to face the crackdown. For KTN, I am Patrick Amimo.
Well, that story brings us to tonight's big question, in which we ask you whether you believe the government should hold talks with the MRC.
Send us brief comments beginning with a yes or a no to our SMS number 8040, and we will sample some of your comments at the end of this live newscast.
Well, still with the MRC. The MRC has it indeed led the way, showing other disgruntled outlawed groups how to challenge the government.
Well, some lawyers think so. A day after the courts lifted a ban on the group demanding an independent state around the coastal city of Mombasa, its leaders appeared cautious, saying they would consult members on the way forward.
A day after the controversial ruling lifting a ban on the separatist Mombasa Republican Council, the case may be back in court on two separate appeals. Both the Attorney General and the MRC leadership agree on one thing: they are not entirely happy with the ruling. It's already clear that a section of MRC leadership do not want the outfit registered as a party. That would require the group adheres to stringent rules under the Political Parties Act, including having a national membership and declaring the source of its funding. But today, the MRC chair took a more diplomatic stance, saying he will be consulting his supporters on the way forward.
Tutajaribu kukaa na viongozi wetu wengine kujadiliana, nafikiri hata vile tuko hali ya mjadala kulingana na waamuzi wetu wa jana.
While the AG said he would appeal the ruling because the decision of the court failed to consider the legitimate constitutional concerns of government, lawyer Osano Kute says the Attorney General should be looking into the legitimate concerns of groups such as MRC.
At the end of the day, what the AG should be thinking about is looking at the historical injustices. What created these groups in the first place?
And as the fallout from the ruling continued, politicians treaded politically dangerous ground.
And if we have a group at the coast that will endanger tourists and other Kenyans living at the coast, that is a group that we must fight to ensure that they are not allowed to achieve their objectives.
If we peddle falsehoods based on this ruling, we are fighting our own economy.
There has been concern that the ruling may embolden other outlawed groups such as the Mungeki, but Abraham Singoe, who is enjoined in the case as a friend of the court, said MRC is different from other groups because it has demonstrated it is willing to follow the law.
If Mungeki was aggrieved by the notice of the minister declaring them a criminal, an organized criminal gang, they should have gone to court already. And the court, on the merits of the case, on the facts of the case, we'll be able to make a determination.
Meanwhile, the National Security Committee met today to address the security implications following the court ruling on the MRC. Francis Kimemia, who is also the chair of the National Security Advisory Committee, assured Kenyans that their lives and property would be safeguarded in the wake of the ruling. Anne Kiguta, KTN Prime.
The 4 Kenyan suspects will not be detained at The Hague during the course of the trial if they fully cooperate with the International Criminal Court. The court is, however, investigating certain individuals in connection with complaints of intimidation of witnesses that the court has received. 2 senior ICC officials are in the country and held meetings with the Cabinet Subcommittee on the ICC as well as the Attorney General as the ICC seeks to strengthen its case. Our senior reporter, Aaron Ochieng, has the details.
The Office of the Prosecution currently here in Nairobi is saying that Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto have no cause to worry since they will not be retained at The Hague once their trials start. The 2 officials who had earlier met with the Cabinet Subcommittee on ICC and the Attorney General say for as long as the 4 accused Kenyans honor summonses and stick to the laid-down court procedures, ICC will not remand them in The Hague as their trials continue. It therefore means that suspects can travel back and forth on the days they are not on the dock and can live at any location of their choice in The Hague during the hearing days.
The suspects will continue to be free as long as they continue coming to the trial and attending the trial.
The International Criminal Court has, however, raised concerns with the Kenyan government over intimidation of witnesses in the 2 cases involving 4 Kenyans at The Hague. The court's head of jurisdiction told a press conference today that it is a serious complaint which they have raised with top government officials, including the Attorney General, and investigations are underway and certain persons will soon be charged.
Those threats must stop, and that anyone whose evidence or who we have evidence to indicate that they are threatening those witnesses, then the government of Kenya and us will work together to ensure that those people are brought to account.
The ICC team that also included the court's international cooperation advisor Shamiso Mbizo say in coming up with the trial date, they did not consider Kenya's election in any way, and the case will go on whether the suspects are political aspirants or even if they win elections.
There's no immunity for crimes under the ICC statute. ICC statute is clear that whether you're head of state, whether you're a prime minister, whether you're a king, if there are crimes or if you are alleged to have committed the crimes, then there's no immunity against you.
The team refused to comment on whether the recent remarks by former Prime Minister advisor Miguna formed any basis for investigating the Prime Minister, but said the case they are building on concerns only the 4 confirmed suspects. Aaron Ocheng, KTN Prime.
Well, to pick up from where Aaron Ocheng has left, and Prime Minister Raila Odinga will not sue his former advisor Miguna over allegations made against him in Miguna's book. Through his legal affairs advisor Paul Mwangi, Raila says he has made the decision in a bid to uphold the freedoms promulgated in the new constitution. The Prime Minister has stamped the publication "The Ugly Thorn That Grows on the Bushes of the Beautiful Roses of Freedom." Here's KTN's Wilkis Tanyabwa with the details.
I want them to go to court tomorrow so that I can deal with them once and for all.
Miguna would leave the country shortly after he made the pronouncement at the launch of his controversial book. But like a pebble cast in a pond makes waves, his book continues to elicit reaction long after his departure. At the center of the book, titled "Peeling Back the Mask," is Prime Minister Raila Odinga, the man Miguna is perceived to attempt to unmask in the book, together with others close to him.
Miguna was Raila's right-hand man for a very long time. Miguna was the coordinator of 2 strategy teams for the Prime Minister himself and for the party.
2 weeks after the launch of the book, a statement from his legal advisor, Paul Mwangi, declares that Raila will not be suing Miguna for libel. In a statement, the lawyer says the Prime Minister has based his decision on the need to foster the civil liberties promulgated in the new constitution, while acknowledging that liberty carries with it the danger of abuse. The statement further goes on to state, and I quote, "The Prime Minister has accepted to bear the heart of defamation rather than take any action that may discourage the advancement and expansion of the field of these rights." The Prime Minister views the recently launched publication as the ugly thorns that grow on the bushes of the beautiful roses of freedom. End of quote. In the book, Miguna has made several damning allegations. A section of Raila's supporters have since come out in protest, but the man at the center of the allegations has kept mum, even as Miguna continues to stir the controversy, albeit from afar. Wilkis Anabwa, KTN Prime.
Students of Rwadia Girls High School in Muranga now have a new school uniform comprising of knee-length skirts, a compromise that was reached between the school administration and students after the Minister of Education, Mutula Kilonzo, intervened. The Rwadia skirt row has earned the minister sharp criticism from various sectors of society, especially after he said he supported the girls for going on strike because their skirts were too long.
Mmeona hapa Muranga wasichana wanagoma masomo kutokana na kusema kwamba skati zile za uniform siko mrefu. Mimi nakubaliana nao. Why are you dressing a schoolgirl like a nun?
Mutula Kilonzo seemed eager to finally remove the proverbial monkey from his back.
The debate that has erupted has created an impression that Kenya's school children were asking for miniskirts. They were not. But I'm a Christian, so I forgive very easily. I've forgiven everybody.
He took the time to give the press a mini fashion show to clarify just what he meant when he sided with the students from Rwadia Girls High School.
Then the school without consulting the girls, even without consulting the teachers, went and changed the skirt. And you will notice that, although I'm not a girl, if you are wearing this, and you are from one girl, it will be right down at the toes. Now, once the ministry intervened, and we brought both the school and the pupils together under Article 10, in inclusiveness, public consultation. They settled for this, which is now acceptable both to the girls, to the school administration, and to the parents.
The minister, a lawyer by training, used Article 53, subsection 2 of the Constitution to justify his support for the girls and to warn school officials that if they want to make any administrative changes, they must consult widely. About 2 weeks ago, students from Radhia Girls High School went on strike demanding to be allowed to wear shorter skirts. This week, the girls returned to school, with some expelled for instigating the strike only days before examinations. Catherine Omwando, KTN Prime.
Police have partnered with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission in a concerted effort to battle hate speech.
Security agencies have acquired gadgets to monitor politicians in the campaign trail and gather evidence of any form of ethnic polarization.
Samogina reports on the new gadgets in town, coupled by a warning by police against politicians mobilizing youth for demonstrations that might cause unrest.
In the wake of the charged political campaigns for the next general elections, security agencies are keeping a closer watch over politicians to avert a repeat of the 2007-2008 unrest. Police Commissioner Matthew Itere is calling for the enactment of tougher new rules on street demos and picketing during the electioneering period.
It's a right of every Kenyan to demonstrate, to picket. But do you do that without responsibility? There is no absolute right without responsibility. And that's why we are calling for regulations to govern picketing and demonstrations.
Itere argues that the disputed presidential poll results and the subsequent call for mass action plunged the country into violence and says street demos should be limited.
We do not have a recourse as a security agency. What do you do when politicians call for 1 million or 2 million people to congregate in a certain square, in a certain field? When it turns violent, how many officers will you require in order to maintain peace?
Security officers drawn from CID and the Crimes Unit attended the training, where they were handed voice recording gadgets that record up to 6 hours long and captures speech 50 meters away from the speaker to aid in monitoring inflammatory speech in the campaign season.
You will be taken through on the use of those gadgets. How to record information so that there is no one who is going to say, as they always claim before the state, that I was misquoted.
We are not a CID, we are not NSIS, we are telling you we are there, we're on the ground. So as you speak, if you sleep, you will know where to end up to as a commission, as a person.
Already NSIS has raised the red flag, warning that politicians risk plunging the country into chaos owing to ethnic balkanization. The police department now wants tougher regulations on street demonstrations and picketing to enable them police the elections and avoid a repeat of the 2007-2008 acrimony. Samogina, KTN, Nairobi.
More than 24 secondary schools in Coast and Central Province regions have gone on strike over a myriad of reasons. Now, some principals have sent their striking students home as a result. KTN's Ansoi Mwendia examines a perennial school unrest that has been investigated over and over again, but all solutions seeming not to hold long enough.
Two schools, hundreds of kilometers apart, in one night, as if on cue, burned down their dormitories. Students of Mandani in Kaloleni Coast Region and Kibuthia Girls in Moranga County, Central Province, separately set their dormitories ablaze Wednesday night. On Tuesday, Kamba Girls in Nairobi was closed after students destroyed property. Teachers in Ribe High School at the coast intercepted a jerrycan of petrol and arrested 2 students. Ribe Girls was closed this week over unrest. The list continues. So, could these events be linked? And why now?
Watu walikuwa watakiwa mtihani wa mock.
The main one that we feel could be the reason as to why this could have taken place is mainly the exams.
Sasa habari hizo ndo pengine kuna vile ziliwatia pressure.
The fact that they have had their neighboring school has gone on strike, they also want to follow suit. We will treat them as any other criminal.
Education consultant Andiwo Obondo attributes the rising cases of unrest to pressure from the classroom.
They would want to revolt to create space.
Obondo vouches for alternative curricula that enable talented students to pursue their passions. He also argues that even though the country has experienced a lot of change in terms of expression, schools lag behind.
They are seeing a lot of change happening out there. They are seeing a lot of things being done differently. But our schools are still operating in the pre-constitution age.
Or could they be learning from the best? Their teachers who have lately been threatening to go on strike to press for more pay and to agitate for the release of education funds. Historically, most secondary school strikes occur between May and August. The most widespread unrest was in 2008, where 300 schools across the country were affected. Then Education Minister Professor Sam Ongeri set up a task force to investigate the strikes. He later banned mock examinations, mobile phones, DVD systems in school buses, among other entertainment gadgets. Ansu Mwendia, KTN Prime.
Well, a reminder of tonight's big question, and we're asking whether you believe the government should hold talks with the Mombasa Republican Council.
Send your brief comments beginning with a yes or a no to our SMS number 8040, and we will sample some of your comments at the end of this live newscast.
Indeed, you are watching KTN Prime, and just ahead.
Why Basari is one of CDF's greatest downfalls.
Tweet of the day in association with Duracoat's new Couture Fashion Palette. Leave it to the experts to give you more reasons to combine color.
Solutions and answers are not far away, especially if you know how to pray effectively. A new book by best-selling author Pastor Chris Oyakilome, PhD.
This book is very important. The title is How to Pray Effectively, Volume 1. I'm bringing out this book for your sake, all of you all around the world, so you can learn to pray effectively. Many people pray, but they're not effective in their prayer. And I want you to be effective because God wants us to be effective.
You can get your copy by calling the numbers now showing on the screen, or send a mail.
Has pure glycerin and is delicately scented with essential oils.
I wanna stay here with you.
For smooth, healthy, glowing skin.
I wanna stay here with you.
And the confidence to be who you want to be.
Here with you.
Rediscover the diva in you.
Before the gold, silver, and bronze, it's the red. It's the green and yellow. It's the black, red, and green. Because Because at the Olympic Games, it's not the color you go home with that matters. It's the colors you came in. And when colors mean this much, you can only trust them to Ariel, proud keeper of Kenya's colors.
Diamond Park Estate is a modern and prestigious development located in the serene middle-class suburb of South B, Nairobi, and strategically located along Mombasa Road, just 15 minutes from the city center. Its housing units consist of luxurious 4-bedroom maisonettes with DSQ, all built in a modern design, offering practical, comfortable, and affordable living. Units are almost sold out. Call us now on 0711-987-114. Diamond Park Estate South B, for the discerning homeowner.
It's so hard.
Come here, you dirty little...
Oh no, here we go again. What was that all about? All hell breaks loose every time he has to take a bath. And then I have to deal with my daughter's complaints about how soap dries her skin. I wish there was a better way to bath.
There is. New Dental Body Wash has a pH-balanced formula and trusted dental ingredients to keep your family's skin clean, moisturized, and protected from germs. And its improved range of fragrances and rich lather puts the fun back into bathing. New Dental Body Wash, the better way of bathing. Dettol.
In partnership with the Kenya Medical Association.
From on-road to off-road, from off-road to no-road. If it's rough, rugged, and dependable off-road driving you want, then go for the 4.2-liter Nissan Patrol pickup. The Patrol is full of ferocious power and a never-say-die attitude that has given it its legendary status. The Patrol has the perfect mix of style and brute performance to help make light work of daunting terrain. Its superior off-road performance comes courtesy of its all-terrain suspension, impressive torque delivery, and a wide array of features to help you take on your chosen task. Nani kama Nissan? At UAP, we enhance lives across Africa. Insurance, investment management, property investment, and financial advisory. UAP, better, simple life.
Your Big Brother Star Game contestant, Prezzo.
Do you like what you see on your screen? Me, King Womaposi. PR Easy was CMB. They said I fell off, they must be joking. Big Brother is all about entertainment. I was born to be an entertainer. Prezzo is cool, calm, collected, but misunderstood. I'm braggadocious, I'm self-confident. I make a lot of people laugh, so I guess I have a good sense of humor. Ladies love me, girls adore me. I mean, even the ones who never saw me. I know you love my style. This whole experience is going to give people like a chance to see the other side of of Prezo. So, I'll let people be the judge of that. I can't stand fake people. I have no strategy. I'm just going to be myself. I'm a real person. Life is like a mirror. You look into a mirror, you smile, you get a smile back.
Big Brother Africa, refreshed by Coca-Cola.
Welcome back to KTN Prime. We're glad you're still watching.
As succession politics continue to play out, politicians crisscross the country, selling the parties to the electorate. Here's Angel Katusia with the politics of the day.
URP presidential aspirant and Eldoret Member of Parliament William Ruto was touring Webuye in Bungoma County to popularize his party in the region. Ruto made stopovers in several towns, wooing voters to support his party and presidential bid.
Kama itafika mahali mimi nitaulizwa tukiwa tumepita mahali fulani kule na imeonekana pengine mtu ya Western ako mbele yangu, mimi nitaunga mkono. Naye mtu ya Western I'm sure mimi na unajua mimi ni mtu wa kufanya bidii sana.
Elsewhere, NAK Kenya presidential hopeful Martha Karua met over 600 youth drawn from all the Nairobi constituencies at her party headquarters. Karua urged the youth to choose leaders of integrity who will prioritize youth agendas.
Ikiwa ni mambo ya chakula, mambo ya cost of living. Mwananchi ambaye hana nguvu ndio anabeba mzigo wa ufisadi.
She at the same time took time to warn the youth from being bribed by politicians to vote for them and instead asked them to vote for leaders with clean records. Karua also reiterated that NAK Kenya will not get into any political alliance.
Sisi tunatafuta kuungana na Wakenya wa nia njema ambao wanataka kuboresha Kenya, na nikiangalia nyuso zenu naona tuko na alliance ya issues hapa.
Politicians are intensifying campaigns across the country ahead of the next year's poll. For KTN Prime, I'm Angel Katusia.
Did you know that you could benefit from a bursary through your constituency's development fund? Well, according to a report by a CDF review task force, bursary allocation is one of the fund's greatest downfalls since it was established in 2003. Here's KTN's Asha Mulu to take us through the report.
With the establishment of the Constituency Development Fund (CDF) back in 2003, MPs were presented with a fresh opportunity to oversee development in their constituencies. But now, 10 years later, a CDF review task force says that for some legislators, the fund has offered a prospect for self-gratification. The report presented to the Ministry of Planning shows huge discrepancies in how the fund has been utilized, especially in the allocation of school bursaries to needy students.
We have no business giving bursaries. As a committee, we do not have capacity at all. And what happens is just favorism.
A view shared by many Kenyans across the country.
CDF management has not been that fair to the extent that it reaches the needy students.
Iyo bursary isitolewe because inasaidia watu wengi.
As a country, we should have a universal bursary fund, so that the fund, the money in the CDF, which is for bursary, take it from there. The one which is going from somewhere else to secondary school, and we have a national bursary fund.
It also recommends that the CDF kitty be boosted from 2% to 6% of the national budget to enable constituency deal with disasters and emergencies. For KTN Prime, I'm Asha Mwilu.
It's time for a brief break, but when we're back, KTN Business Today.
Right, I'll be bringing you all the details, to stay tuned.
Pay your utility bills, transfer funds between M-Pesa and your bank account, inquire your account balance, get mini statements and purchase airtime with simple banking from NBK.
bother you?
You didn't once even think about what the priest said? You never even thought about the effect this would have on your dad's life, Lajwanti?
What happened, Lajwanti? Tell me. What happened? Whatever you did to me, Lisa, it's absolutely wrong.
Can I have some money for my Vision account?
Ndio hiyo, simple banking. Benki ulipo. National Bank, the bank where you belong.
That's right. Yeah, I want to see it.
Too strong for too long, and I can't be without you, baby. Oh, and I'll be waiting up until you get home, 'cause I can't sleep without you, baby. I wanna be the one who you believe in your heart is sent from heaven. There's a piece of me who leaves when you're gone because you're sick and everybody say I wanna be the one you love. I wanna be. Everybody say stay young, do milk, stay young, stay young.
Do Milk. African dishes in association with Golden Fry. Deep fried meatballs. Ingredients: 1 kilogram of lean minced meat, 1 onion very finely chopped, 2 cloves garlic crushed, a half a cup of breadcrumbs, a quarter cup of dania leaves finely chopped, 1 egg, salt and pepper to taste, and Golden Fry oil for frying. Directions: combine all of the ingredients except the Golden Fry oil into a bowl and mix. Your end product should be firm. Spoon the mixture into your hands, then roll the meat between your palms to form a ball. In a deep frying pan, heat the Golden Fry oil until hot, then reduce to low heat. Put the meatballs into the hot oil in batches, turning them over for 5 to 6 minutes or until brown and cooked through. Deep frying with hot oil can be dangerous, so make sure you exercise proper caution. Fill your fryer no more than halfway full. Oil will splatter as you submerge food and you don't want to get burnt. Serve as biting with ketchup and chili dip. If you decide to reuse your oil, strain it and store it in an airtight container away from light. Always dispose of oil when it turns dark or begins to smell.
Golden Fry. Fries more, lasts longer.
Nataka kujua sheria inasema nini kuhusu tarehe ya uchaguzi. What are the requirements needed for anyone who wants to file for the seats for the coming general election?
What does the law say about the election date?
The Constitution of Kenya, of course, is clear.
IEBC, your vote, your future. Natural beer, sugar-free, truly Kenyan.
Nataka kujua sheria inasema nini kuhusu tarehe ya uchaguzi. What are the requirements needed for anyone who wants to file for the seats for the coming general election?
What does the law say about the election date?
The Constitution of Kenya, of course, is clear.
IEBC, your vote, your future.
Welcome to KTN Business Today. I'm standing in for James Karani. The KCB Group has posted a 48% increase in its pre-tax profits to 8.5 billion shillings in the first 6 months of 2012, setting the pace for the banking industry. Also announcing its financial report was Equity, which posted a 29% increase, pre-tax profitability to 7.62 billion shillings. Michael Karanja with the numbers.
Despite tough operating conditions that has seen low absorption of credit in the market, the top 2 local banks continue to post strong results. KCB Group attributes its performance to the growth in net interest income by 36% to 14.3 billion shillings, while its operating income grew by 29% to 21.2 billion shillings. With operations in 6 countries, The bank subsidiaries contributed 600 million shillings to the group's bottom line, with the management confident its subsidiaries will continue playing a major role in the bank's growth.
We believe that we can deliver sustained good performance in this business, focusing very much around the transformation agenda that we've been driving over the last 1.5 years.
At the same time, equities profit after tax grew by 14.04% to 5.4 billion shillings as it saw its deposits and loan book slow down. During the first half, customer deposits rose to 151.1 billion shillings, while the loan book rose by 27% to 124.46 billion shillings.
We see continuous high profitability. We see return on assets still holding at 5.2%. This is despite of opening 2 subsidiaries during this year.
Both banks announced a reduction in lending rates, with KCB pegging its interest rate at 22%, while Equity Bank reduced its interest rate to 20%. Michael Karanja, KTN Business Today.
Prime Minister Raila Odinga has announced that the government plans to fast-track the review of its legal framework governing procurement procedures in the country to minimize the current high rate of unutilized development funds by ministries that saw close to 50% of funds allocated to ministries in the last financial year returned to the exchequer. Right, we'll bring you that story in just a short while, but right now business leaders should dismiss the use of social media in their business processes at their own peril. At least this is what the findings of Deloitte say, that consumers and businesses have taken to the platform as a way of communication and generating content. Boni Tunya attended a Deloitte East Africa workshop on the same and filed this report.
World over are changing as leaders rethink their core processes and capabilities with a social mindset to find new ways to create more value.
All of this data lying around the net, WhatsApp data, Twitter data, LinkedIn comments, Facebook, this is where the action is.
Connected web of people and assets in an organizations are amplified by social media, from blogs, social networking sites to content communities. Sales and marketing organizations are increasingly looking to understand customer sentiment and product positioning. This trend has led to organizations rolling out internal microblogs that allow employees to broadcast and push interest, ideas and expertise in the enterprise.
As a CIO, you have to be very mindful of that, because you'll have to re-architect the entire process from an application technology security point of view. It is something to be borne in mind when you deal with cloud solutions.
And while the benefits of integrating IT business enablers like automation of services, registers, cloud computing and social media, as well as digital back office in an organization's business processes are known too well, there are still abound challenges like how to merge departments, security when exchanging vital information, as well as lack of administrative supervision while using handheld devices. Boni Tunya for KTN Business Today.
Let's revisit that story where the Prime Minister Raila Odinga has announced that the government plans to fast-track the review of its legal framework governing procurement procedures in the country in order to minimize the current high rate of unutilized development funds by ministries that saw close to 50% of funds allocated to ministries in the last financial year return to the exchequer.
Only a day after Treasury indicated that it was holding billions of shillings in unspent funds from ministries, the government has moved to improve the situation. Speaking to journalists, Prime Minister Raila Odinga said the poor absorption of development funds by state agencies was largely blamed on internal factors within ministries. Among the factors presented by the Premier include poor management skill by heads of department across the ministries. However, the large portion of the burden is traced to existing procurement laws that it now says must be changed.
In this respect, the ongoing review of the legal framework governing procurement should be fast-tracked and concluded before end of this year, that is 2012.
But in ensuring that laxity does not reign in the current framework, the government also says all projects under a department will form a crucial part in the performance contracting. This is expected to instill commitment and respect for timelines, as well as prudent utilization of funds.
In order to improve coordination on project implementation, all permanent secretaries and accounting officers should establish supervision committees which they chair.
Data from the Ministry of Finance shows that Treasury is holding 19.5 billion shillings as at the end of June 2012, meant for key development projects. But lack of proper implementation had left the funds lying idle at the consolidated funds. Philip KTN for KTN Business Today.
And the KTN Business Desk also had a look at other news stories from around the world regarding the corporates, and here's a look at the corporate briefs.
Soap manufacturer Pwani Oil has made a fast innovation with the release into the market a spill-free container for its fresh fry cooking oil with the aim of addressing changing consumer needs. According to Pwani Oil Director of Strategy and Business Planning, Rajul Malde, the new container packaging for fresh fry cooking oil will be available in the market starting Friday in different container sizes. The Financial Reporting Awards, also dubbed FIRE Awards, will this year be themed on promoting corporate excellence in East Africa. Organizers of the event have received 93 entries, the highest number ever, comprising 26 institutions. The awards are aimed at ensuring the market is managed in accordance with the internationally accepted standards in financial reporting, corporate governance, and corporate social responsibilities. Finally, Kenyan alcoholic beverages market is suffering from high cost of living, and in the quest to stay afloat, beer brand Guinness has unveiled a campaign dubbed The Ticket to Greatness, aimed at rewarding loyal consumers with cash prizes. Guinness hopes it can beat inflation by spurring loyalty to its brand, through which it will help people up their spending. Zawadi Mdibo, KTN Business Today.
Let's now have a look at the activities in the Nairobi Securities Exchange in our Financial Markets Review.
Gold Rush in association with Kenya's migration to digital television.
Coca-Cola wanted an Olympic song, so it asked pop star Katy B and DJ producer Mark Ronson to move to the beat.
When the idea was first brought up to me, Joe Beliotti came to my studio in Brooklyn where I was recording my album Record Collection. Just from those really humble beginnings to where we got through, it's pretty surreal to think that me and Katy are being given this opportunity to really create something on the world stage that's going to get out there.
Great to work with Mark Ronson. You know, I feel very, very honoured. I think he's an amazing producer, and the way he's kind of taken on this project as well, I've just gained even more respect for him. He's so hardworking and really had a massive vision of how he wanted it to sound, and it sounds, hopefully, just as he wants it. I'm really, really proud to be part of the Olympics.
When I was recording the athletes, I wasn't really thinking of them in terms of athletes performing a sport. I was thinking of them as people in an orchestra. So when I heard boom, I was like, okay, well that's my bass, you know? And then when I heard the arrow flying through the air and goes, I was like, well, there's my percussion. It was like having a live orchestra of very talented athletes. These are the basic sounds of table tennis that we all know. Then we kind of put those sounds together and had them play in a rhythm to something that we could use in the track, which sounds something like this. like this.
Move to the Beat will be released worldwide, including a documentary on its production, and will be the soundtrack for TV commercials and other platforms throughout the Olympic year.
It's time to migrate your analog TV to the beautiful new world of digital television. Digital TV, a beautiful new world of entertainment.
Natural beer, sugar-free, truly Kenyan.
It's so
Come here, you dirty little...
Oh no, here we go again. What was that all about? All hell breaks loose every time he has to take a bath. And then I have to deal with my daughter's complaints about how soap dries her skin. I wish there was a better way to bath. There is.
New Dettol Body Wash has a pH-balanced formula and trusted Dettol ingredients to keep your family's skin clean, moisturized and protected from germs. And its improved range of fragrances and rich lather puts the fun back into bathing. New Dettol Body Wash, the better way of bathing. Dettol.
In partnership with the Kenya Medical Association.
Pata ukweli wa mtambo wako leo. The dangers of using counterfeit phones. Counterfeit phones do not follow safety standards during their manufacture, and their use could affect your health. Counterfeit phones are impossible to trace if stolen, and difficult for law enforcement agents to track down if used for criminal activities.
Dial *#06# to retrieve the 15-digit IMEI number and send an SMS with that number to 155. Pata ukweli wa mtambo wako leo.
My name is Mark Juma Tambo.
All counterfeit mobile phones will be switched off by September 30th this year.
A look at the day's sports. I'm Nicholas Mudimba. A 10 town, one of Kenya's towns known for its favorable conditions,